Welcome to a Cincy fan talking with LP, and once again, this is yours truly, LP. What's good? What's good? It's a lot of cheering, y'all. It's a gang of cheering we got going on there. But like I said, what's good, y'all? Welcome to a Cincy fan talking. This your boy LP, right back at y'all with another one. Um, feeling good, man. Just got back. Well, I won't say just got back from vacay. We was gone for a little bit. We feel like 4 or 5 days is a long time because we don't really get to vacate too much. But it was for a really good reason. The wife and I celebrating the 20th year anniversary. It's it's so weird to say because, and I was telling the wife this, and she punched me when I said it, but it feels like it's been 10 years. And then it feels like it's been 40 years. Like it's just like that. And like I tell everybody after she punched me, like I tell everybody, it in our 20 years, like they seem to have flown by because there have been like some really high moments, and there have been some some soul crushing moments, and it's really never anything internally like between the wife and myself. It's never been anything like that. There hasn't been like a 10 week or a 10 day phase we'd had like move out the house or something like that. It's never been like that. But life be lifing, man, and life's in an awesome way, and sometimes life is just unfair as fuck. Like it really is. And I normally don't curse on the pod, but I mean hell, we grown, right? At least I hope you are listening to this anyway. But I mean, sometimes life is just unfair, and it sucks, and it goes through all these twists and turns where it's like some days you're on top of the mountain, and sometimes you under the mountain, and the mountain crushing you. But it's been really great to have somebody that's right there with you because, I mean, there's not too much you can control in life, And if there are some like youngins out there, let me go ahead and drop some Jews on you. Like, if you looking for, that right one or whatever, because there's no science to it. You'll smooch with a whole lot of wrong ones to meet the right one, and sometimes you might meet the right one, but it's not the right time, and yada yada yada. But you just want to be with somebody that will be there with you when shit get hard. Because it's easy to ride with somebody when you're on the top. It's easy to find all the friends out there when you living good, you eating steak and shrimp, and you got all the dough, and life is just giving you high fives. But sometimes life kicking you in the ass, and it's really hard to find people that's gonna be there with you, willing to just be silent and let you vent, willing to vent, and you're willing to be silent. It's really hard to find people like that. And when you do, you hold on to them tight. And we were lucky enough to find each other. And we've we've been married for 20. We've been together for I think 26. We like to argue about like the actual day or whatever. She had a kid, and then I had a kid, and our kids just happened to be the same age. So that made stuff a lot easier for us. And to be honest, and it's just me being honest for real, I I don't really know if I'd have been ready for a relationship with somebody with a kid until I had a kid. And I understood exactly what it was to like, not have time for somebody because you're trying to be with your kid and you have to give all your energy to her, and like I understood that because I had a kid. So, I mean, um, I think I saw somebody say it best, like, I had luggage, she had luggage, and we just put our luggage together and started pushing it. So it's been a time, and we decided to take our vacation doing something we never did before. So we hopped on a cruise, And from everybody we talked to about the cruise life, we got the same two things. Watch exactly what floor you stay on your cruise and be prepared to eat a whole lot of food. That was the main two things I got. Now, depending on the cruise line, I heard a lot of other stuff. I'm not about to bash people cruise line choices or nothing like that. But we chose celebrity. We chose celebrity cruise lines. Um, I'll keep it 100. They had the best sale. Like for real. I saw some other cruise lines with some pretty decent sales, but this one had the best. And it was fun. We had a good time. We really did. Um, had a balcony room, which kind of freaked the wife out for a quick second, but then she got to take her great pictures and it was cool. Um, I decided to rate this cruise based on the entertainment, the locales, and just how the cruise life was in general. Now, to be real, I was day drunk pretty much every day of the cruise. Not like, tilting over or anything like that, but the free drinks just kept coming at you. And I'm sipping from like 11 a.m. until sleep. And the wife invoked this crazy rule, y'all. Here was the rule. We didn't make too many rules for the cruise, but the rule was this for the cruise. We're on the 11th floor. Her rule was we have to take the stairs everywhere we go, unless we're too drunk to walk up the stairs. Dude, we hoofing it from the third to the 11th floor just to be like some tough guys. I'm day drunk, kind of not really tipping up the stairs, but I'm a little lightheaded going up and down the stairs. I'm like, did we really do this? Did we really decide to work out on vacation? Are we really those guys and girls? It was wild. But as far as the entertainment, they had a really funny comedian. I think it was Ralph Harris. He was hilarious. But for the most part, the entertainment was hit or miss, y'all. For real. Like, how do I say this? I got you. I know how to say this. The entertainment wasn't really slanted towards our demographic. They had some cool stuff. They had like this game show thing that was based on like love and marriage. So they had different um married couples in different stages of their marriage come up, and they got to ask some questions, like the whole newlywed game type stuff. So that was cool, but really it was real hit or miss. Karaoke night was cool, musical bingo was cool and stuff like that, but for the most part we skipped a lot of the entertainment because it wasn't really for us. Now, I'm at the age where I'm not old and I'm not young, you know, in that middle part. And we felt like a lot of the entertainment was scheduled for like the older crowd. So we just skipped a lot of that. So if I had to grade this on a 1 to 10, I would say let's give it a 6. Because it wasn't bad, but it was just a lot of stuff that we decided to skip. Now, as far as the locales, our locations were in the Bahamas on Coco Cay or Coco Key, and then Bimini. Yeah, if you listen to the pod and you heard my story about Atlantic City, this is how I felt about Bimini. Now, Coco Cay was Coco Cay. It was cool. You can tell it was kind of like made by whoever celebrity rolls with. It was just like a big. It looked like a big theme park. Like they just built their own stuff. Like we taking you here because we own this too. And I understand that. That was pretty cool. It wasn't bad. Everything was free, so we ate a lot, drank a lot. Good times. Bimini was a different case. Now, I had never heard of Bimini, Bahamas before we went here. And people kept telling us on the ship, like, if you want a golf cart, you'll be able to find one. No problem. We just kind of laughed at ha 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 ha. From the moment we got onto the island, we were assaulted by people trying to give us golf carts. I'm like, is this the local, like, economy? Yeah, pretty much. It was golf carts as far as the eye can see. And it was a whole lot of locals like, you need a golf cart, you need a golf cart. Get your girl a golf cart, get a golf cart, drive her around. No. So our dumbasses were like, we're just gonna walk to where we need to go. I'm not gonna say it was seedy like Atlantic City, but it was some spots we was walking past where I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm like, if it go down, I gotta be ready. I'm just kind of looking around, and nothing really happened or anything like that. But it was just kind of like you don't expect to see you expect to see paradise when you go to the Bahamas. This wasn't that. The part that we got to, where we had our little cabana and all that, that was like paradise. But the part to get there, when you're walking around and stuff, you're like, damn, this is kind of raw out here. Like it's tough to really like kick back and vacate it where you want to when you looking around like man, they depressed around the corner. Like it's tough around the corner. And they might look for us because they depressed around the corner. Like, but overall, it was great. Got the wife on the airplane, and she does not like to fly, y'all. Like the whole time, she just looking at me like, "Man, you done took me on a plane." I'm like, I'm not driving you 16 hours to get on the boat, and then we got to drive 16 hours back. I'm like, no, we flying this time. She got through it. The flight there was so choppy, and she was looking at me like. I'm like, don't look at me like that. I don't chill. Don't look at me like you yelling at me. Like relax. um, so I would say the locales, I would give it a 7.5. Yeah, I would say that. And as far as like the whole environment, the whole cruise life and all that, I give it an 8. Celebrity did a really good job taking care of you. On our actual anniversary, we went to like a nice restaurant there, and they gave us a decorative dessert, a happy anniversary, and they're like, thank you for choosing to spend it with us. I'm like, that's a real nice touch. We appreciate that. So, if we do decide to do the cruise life again, we'll definitely do celebrity. But if you have a better one, let me know. Hit me up in the comment section. Leave me a message. However you do it, let me know. Like if you found a better one, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Virgin, whatever it is, let me know and tell me why you like it. We might try them instead. So you know, we get back and it's like we dove directly into the World Cup. Like it's like we went from watching the Knicks on the boat to the World Cup. And like y'all like I tell y'all about the NBA, I don't really jump into the NBA life until the playoffs because we don't have a team here, so it's like I love basketball, but not enough to follow a team I don't care about for 82 regular season games. That's wild. But I'm not about to sit up here and be like, yeah, I knew the Knicks had it. I knew the Knicks was about to take it from day one. No. You talking to LP, and you talking to a man that was born in, well, basically, I was raised in the 90s, alright? Born in the late 70s, early 80s, late 70s. Did my kid thing in the 80s. Basically, did my adolescence in the 90s. So, I've seen the Knicks screw up way too many playoff runs to sit here and tell you, yeah, I knew the Knicks are going to take it. No. Mm-mm. Until the Knicks actually won 4 games to 1, I was like, yeah, they'll screw it up because this is this is my life. I've grown up seeing the Knicks screw it up. Like, so you can't sit up here and tell me, yeah, I knew Jalen Brunson was gonna take it. If you're my age, no, you didn't. You didn't believe it. Like when the Knicks were like down 2 games to nothing against the Atlanta Hawks, I was kind of like, yeah, I saw that coming. And the more they kept winning, the more I'm looking like, yeah, they're gonna screw this up. And they didn't. When this is kind of funny. Game 4. The wife and I are sitting there watching game 4. By the way, there's absolutely the Wi-Fi sucks on cruise ships. It absolutely sucked. And there's like five stations that actually work on your television. So when the game comes on, game four, you're watching the game, like the pregame stuff, and there's no sound. Apparently, they stole the feed from somewhere else, and there's no sound. I thought they're gonna come on speaking German, y'all. But the feed finally comes on, and the wife and I we're trying to decide, like, should we hit the buffet real quick? And we got trapped, like sipping wine and watching the game. She falls asleep because the Knicks are down like 21. I kind of shake her back up a little bit because I want to ask her if she's hungry, and they're down 28. She sees it and she goes back to sleep. I'm watching the game on my phone, slowly slipping into like a wine coma. And I noticed the Knicks are like slowly chipping away. And I'm like, should I wake the wife up? She might want to see this. Nah, they'll probably screw it up. And I happen to look up and they're down four. I'm like, what the hell? And I said, what the hell so loud that the wife woke up and she was like, what the hell? And she saw the screen. She was like, what the hell? And I'm like, exactly. So we watched like the last few minutes and I'm like, damn, I can't even tell you what happened. I'm completely surprised by now. It was at that moment that I was like, the Knicks might win it all. No lie. Even when they were up 3-1, I wasn't like, yeah, they got this. I was like, yeah, this might actually go seven. Like I didn't think the Knicks would win. Like I've lived through watching Larry Johnson hit a 4-point play and then the Knicks still lose to the Spurs in five. I've lived through watching Patrick Ewing with the easiest of all layups to beat my Indiana Pacers back then, and he blows it, misses the layup, they lose. I watched the Knicks lose to the Rockets while watching a very small screen on the top corner, watching OJ getting slow speed chased down the highway. And that was a game seven. Was it a game six game? I think it was a game seven. So I've lived through all of this. And I can't say I was a New York Knicks hater, but my team was the Pacers. So by law, I can't like the Knicks. I can't like Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing and John Starks when they bashing Reggie Miller in the head. No, but I can't hate this team either. Like they got a whole bunch of guys that kind of got written off, and they doing their thing, and I respect that. I just didn't think they would. I thought that the New York thing that they're wearing on their chest would weigh down their play at some point, and they would lose, and it never happened. Shout out to all of y'all Nick fans out there because y'all some real ones. And as I'm sitting there watching the Knicks, take it all, I'm like, damn, I feel hope because everything I said about the Knicks, at some point I've said about the Bengals because I've followed the Bengals my entire life, and there's been like a whole lot of lows and some really big peaks. And at those peaks, we're always looking at each other as fans like, damn, what's going to happen to fuck this up? Like, what's about to happen to make this whole thing just crash down? Who's going to get hurt? Oh no, Carson Palmer just got hurt. What bad call's going to happen? Oh no, a pass interference call that wasn't even pass interference. You just expect it to happen. You just see it happening. You're waiting for it. So that way when it actually happens, you're not hurt. You can at least say, "Oh yeah, I saw that coming." But then the New York Knicks do this. And I'm sure their fans were like, "Yeah, it's happening. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, they'll screw it up." And they didn't. So I'm like, why not us? And I feel like this is the year. If not this year or next year, then what year? So as the Knicks were doing their whole parade and all that, I was just kind of looking like, this could be the Bengals. It could be. We could all just be calling off of school and calling off of work and heading down to Fountain Square. You know what I mean? Just the crowd just going from Fountain Square all the way up Main and Vine Street, just taking over the Rhine, all the way to TQL Stadium, and we just all just posted up in the freezing cold, looking at each other like, damn, they finally did it. They finally did. Y'all, we were giving away Halloween candy way back in like 2008. And somebody had like NFL themed candy. And I saw three of them that had the Cincinnati Bengals logo on them. So I took them, right? I never ate them. I just sat them down and I was joking around with people like, I'm not opening these until the Bengals win a Super Bowl. Those things are probably brick hard somewhere downstairs in my basement. If the Bengals win a Super Bowl, I'm going to find those and open them. I'm not saying I'm gonna eat them. I'm not about to sit up here and lie to y'all. Like I'm not about to take myself out the game like that. It'll be 2027. That would be 19 years old pieces of candy. Mm-mm. No sirree, Bob. But if I find them, I'll post them and let y'all know. Look, the candy of champions. But I just said that as like a little goof back when I found it because I'm like Bengals Super Bowl. But the Knicks did it. So there's hope. There's hope. Please don't take this away from me because I know what you're thinking. Bengals, ha 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 ha. But we'll see what happens. Let's stick to football. The other football. Hey, who's watching the World Cup? Yeah, raise your hand. Raise your other hand if you're getting a little bit sick and tired of watching the World Cup. Just a little bit. Here's the thing, and the wife said it eloquently. Um, I was about to say it, but she said it first, so she get the credit. Usually, when you're watching soccer, it's during the Olympics or something like that, and there's other stuff around it. So you can watch a little bit of soccer and then watch something else, then watch something else. Yo, this is a lot of soccer. Like a lot of soccer. And it's like the group stage. So you're just watching the same teams play like over and over like it's the regular season. It's like when you're watching the game, especially when you're watching a team you care about like the USA or whatever, like you really into it. But a lot of these matches I'm like, okay, so they're about to play to a draw. Okay. Okay. And I it's just a lot. It's a lot of soccer. Like it's been a lot of soccer, y'all. And I think it's because it's 48 teams now instead of 32. So that's way more groups added, which means it's way more games added. Personally, me personally, I know they out to the dough, but 48 teams is way too much for real. 12 groups, and they all gotta play each other. So that means let's see, that's like 12 games per group. See if I did the math right. Three, six. Yeah, that's 12 games per group. I think. Some of those are like the same game. Either way, there has to be a way to do this to where, you know what? I'm not even going down this road because FIFA is just doing this for the dough anyway. So it's like it really doesn't matter what we come up with. They just want the money. I mean, I saw somewhere that tickets for just the group stage stuff was like 2 G's. 2 grand? To sit here and watch teams play to a 0-0 draw? Nil draw? Nah, I'm good. I will say this though. The fact that there's so little scoring, it makes you really appreciate even when a team gets close to scoring. Like when the ball hits the crossbar, I sit there with my mouth open like, no, no. Like this is casual fan. Like I watch FC Cincinnati because I care about the team. So it's like I'm there for that. And I think this is why I don't really watch regular season NBA hoops. It's too much. And unless it's a team I care about, yeah, it's whatever. I don't even watch all the Cincinnati Reds games. I actually, because you really can't watch all the Cincinnati Reds games unless you got like Spectrum TV or something like that. Nah, I'm not paying $100 and something a year to watch the Reds games. That's ridiculous. Mm-mm. I love my teams, but it's a lot of bread. We're not doing that. So I wish it would be like less teams, but once they get to the knockout stages, that's kind of what I'm there for. When the stakes are high, I can watch the games. When USA is playing, I can watch the games to be invested in it. But if it's not one of those two things, it's like, eh. But again, this is casual soccer fan LP. If I was like a diehard, this would be like heaven. Like if it was like this for NCAA hoops, then it's different. I watch that. And I guess it really depends on, what you care about. I'm getting there. I don't want to sit here and lie to y'all and be like, man, I just love the game. I'm getting there. I really like FCC. I feel like their style of play is like really quick. Plus, they score a lot of goals and they give up a lot of goals. So you got a lot of stuff to see. Overall, go USA. It's like one of the few times you'll hear everybody in America shouting USA, USA. And that's the cool thing about sports, y'all, because it'll bring a whole lot of people together that won't normally be together. You'll have Trump fans chilling with non-Trump fans and Republicans with Democrats, and it don't really matter because you're pulling for the same team. Like that's the beauty of sports. That's one of the few things we have that'll bring people together. It's one of the few things we have left because you could be sitting right next to a Trump supporter. They could be sitting right next to you. Y'all don't vibe on anything else. But Joe Burrow hits Jamar Chase with a touchdown pass with 2 minutes left to win the game. We high fiving each other. We cool. We talking. We chilling. We sharing. All of that because of our affiliation for the local football team. I mean, it's sports, man. It's one of the few things that'll bring you together. It'll also make you want to fight somebody. But if you are growing up, you realize like it's really all good and it's just a game. Most grown ups, some grown ups, yeah, nah. We're gonna talk NCAA football like real quick. If you haven't heard, Brendan Sorsby, he got into a lot of trouble because he was gambling on his own team that he was playing for, upwards of like thousands of bets that equaled tens of thousands of dollars. So he got. Let me make sure I say this right. He was told that he could not play college football anymore because it's illegal to gamble on your own team while you're playing for that team. That that makes sense, right? Some judge in Texas said, nah, because if you do that, you're going to mess him up. And, you're messing up his road to recovery, so he should get to play. So they were going to let him play. A lot of teams in their conference, this is Texas Tech. A lot of teams in Texas Tech's conference was like, look, if he plays, we're not playing you guys because what he did is against the rules. He should not be playing because this is against the rules. This is one of the few times where everybody was on the same page. And everybody's looking at the NCAA like, dude, what are you doing? He can't play. So cooler heads prevailed and they finally figured out a way for him not to play. And I'm looking like, do y'all realize that everybody in college football was on the same page? This never happens. Like, the NCAA basically had conferences doing their job. I look at it like this. I have my class, right? I let my class cheat on the test. Let's say, just for play. I let my class cheat on the test. They all pass. I get found out. I get fired. I get my license taken away. That's what happens. That's how it's supposed to be. If I go to a judge and that judge says, hey, if he loses his license, he can't feed his family, he can't feed his kids. So we're going to let him teach. No school in America will hire me. And guess why? Because I let my kids cheat on tests. I make them look smarter than what they are. I throw off everybody's data. It's morally and ethically wrong. That's what it is. If judges won't do their job, then it's up to the schools to go like, you know what? We can't let you teach here. Even though it's legal for you to teach, you're not who we want in our school, even though you may be reformed. You're not who we want at our school because of what you've done. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, people say, you can't live in the past. That's BS. Your past is what makes you. It really does. You are what you have done. You can sit here and go like, I turned over a new leaf and stuff like that. But until you show me you turned over a new leaf, guess what? I have to go by what you've done. I mean, if we're not going by your history, then what is history for? why why are we keeping track? You know what I mean? That's how it should be. I have to go on your history until I see what you do. And then that becomes your new history. You can't change the past. You can make a new past based on what you do. I used to do this. Now you can see I do this. And with the Brendan Swords we got, and honestly with Texas Tech, and you know what? I'm not even gonna really blame him. He shot his shot. I mean, that's what you do. I'm sure he didn't think it would happen. But if you're the NCAA, you put your foot down and you say, look, we're not letting you play. And good on the Big 12 conference. As a unit, they stood up and they're like, you know what? If the NCAA won't do what they're supposed to do, we're going to do it. Because if you step on this field, we're not playing you. Well, that's not fair. Really? Really? Well, a judge said, nah. Because now, you were in a bad way when you did it, but you sat here and you gambled multiple times on your own team. We can't let that ride. We got to let you get the help you need. But there has to be punishments for your actions. If we don't have punishments for actions, then basically we get to do whatever we want to do. The world is a very unsafe place if we let that happen. If I let kids do whatever they wanted to do in my classroom, and I was like, here's the consequence. And then they do it, and then I say, you know what? Forget the consequence. Just don't do it again. Everybody in the class just found out they get at least one pass. Yeah, it's true. Because if I try to bring the hammer down on somebody else, the first thing they say, well, Mr. P, you let so and so do that. He didn't get in trouble. How come I'm in trouble? Then I gotta let them go. Then I gotta let everybody go once. But if I let them go once, I mean that slippery slope starts. Then they get to do what they want to do. Then my class becomes hell. Then it starts looking like the lean on me part in the beginning when they're playing Welcome to the Jungle, and it's just wild and there. People getting stuffed in lockers and they selling dope in the back and like I'm not joking, y'all. Like, well, that was a bit much. Like what happened in the movie, that was a bit much for a classroom. But when you look at classrooms and it look like hell on earth, that's how it start. You let the little stuff slide. You let the little stuff slide, and it's not like you gotta like crack down as soon as it happens. Like, get out of my class, you're suspended. But if you don't check it, if you don't go like, hey, you can't do that in here. If you don't at least let them know that slippery slope starts. Mr. P saw me chewing gum. He don't care. So that means I can probably do this and this and this and this. And if he says something, I'm gonna go like, well, you let so and so do it. And that's not just how kids think, y'all. That's how people think. And now when you're looking at the NCAA, and now you got a whole lot of people feeling like they can do a whole lot of wild stuff because did they get in trouble? That's why I say good on the Big 12 because at least the Big 12 players know if you try to do that over here, everybody else just won't play you. You're hurting your whole team. So the NCAA is unifying conferences, y'all. They doing that backwards as hell, but they unifying conferences. So good on them for that. Really, y'all just been like, I just been chilling. It's been like full days where we just sit here in the house and just do nothing. For real. And that's the summer life. Now, in between there, there are vacations to take with the kids. There's cool stuff to do, go downtown, let them see cool stuff, let them hang out with friends, great summer stuff. Here's the one thing we're not doing talking about school. And we're definitely not looking at commercials that say back to school sales. I turn the TV so fast. I just want to fight the television as soon as I see them. In my teaching teams in our group chat, somebody said that they saw a back to school sale last week. The whole group chat just putting thumbs down, using egg and tomato memes. Like we just start going off. What kind of person? What kind of person is sitting there in a store going like, you know what? I think it's time to do a back to school sale in the middle of June. You give me PTSD right now. Like it's not cool. The If I go into a store right now and I see a back to school sale, I'm leaving. I don't even care what I went in there for. It don't matter. I'm not staying in there. It's the last thing I want to see. Now, inevitably, you know, mid July, late July, I expect to see the back to school sales heavily. I expect to see the commercials where you got like a line of kids in book bags of all different colors dancing like they happy to be in school. Nah, let me tell you, it'll be some smiling faces walking in first day. People are happy to see their friends and stuff like that. But they walk into the classroom and they'll all drop. It's like they get reminded, like, damn, I gotta do schoolwork. I gotta have a pencil. Do I want to put a pencil? Do I want to put a pencil in my book bag? Do I got my lunch? Oh man, we gotta go back to school again. There are no smiles. People aren't dancing and pop locking and doing backflips in the parking lot and high fiving every single person they see. No, it's not like that. I mean, not at the school I'm at. Maybe it is at your school. I don't know. I've taken on like a lot of responsibility this year. You know, doing like the whole um, math math team leader and stuff like that. And this is not like a frightening thing. I've done stuff like this before. It's more like what this was on The Wire. I think it was Bunny Colvin. Yeah, this is what he said. Like, cause being a team lead, that's kind of like middle management. That's like the epitome of middle management. And Bunny Colvin was talking to somebody, and he's like, this is on The Wire, by the way. He's like, I feel bad for people in middle management, cause you got just enough responsibility where you got to sit back and listen, but you don't have enough pull to tell somebody to go to hell. Like you just don't. So you just caught in that middle. Like, so I'm in the meetings. I'm like, damn, I really gotta listen to what's going on. I gotta tell people to implement this. But if I raise my hand and say we shouldn't do it that way, nobody cares. They don't sit there and be like, what we're gonna. They'll be like, we're gonna take it into consideration. Sure you are, fam. So I'm looking forward to not looking forward to that for the next, I say, 4.5 weeks. Depression will kick in, eh, late July. So we'll talk about that then. But for now, we just gonna keep watching bad movies and teacher movies. Next week you'll get a teacher review movie, another one of those. So be on the lookout for that. And um, I'm gonna dive into a little bit more World Cup if I can take the rest of this group stage and just chill out and relax. People are asking how to catch me, how to catch me on the socials. I don't really do too much of the socials. You can catch me on Blue Sky. You can catch me on X. That's pretty much it. For both of those, it's the same name, a Cincy fan talking. Leave off the G. And feel free to hit me up about pretty much anything, alright? Keep it. You don't have to keep the language clean, but keep the positivity clean and all of that, because negativity, racist crap, and all of that, you'll just get blocked. So, other than that, man, I'm easy, man. Just get at me, let me know what's going on, and we're gonna start out the music because we are out of here. Definitely hope y'all like the pod. Appreciate y'all stepping past. Hit me up. Life is good. You know what it is. Give me the claps out. See y'all next week.